Hello student, in previous video we have seen till 36 number question. Now in this video we will see the OR question 36 number, that is explain human brain. In this video we have to draw the figure of human brain as well as also describe the different parts of brain like forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Let's see the answer in detail. So the human brain. The brain is the main coordinating center of the body. It has three major parts. As I told you that forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. And here you can see the figure of brain. This brain is located in the bony structure that is called the skull, or you can say the cranium. Here you can see it is made up by the three membrane. In this membrane there is a space is there, and this space is known as a meaning. So in meaning there is a liquid filled, and it is known as a cerebrospinal liquid, and function of this cerebrospinal fluid is to protect the brain from the outer shock. Means it is work as a cushion like structure. It protects the brain from the outer shock. Now the brain is divided into three major parts: forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Here you can see in the figure, this part is known as a forebrain. This part is comes under to the midbrain, and this is the comes under to the hindbrain. In that three parts is that pons, medulla and cerebellum. Whereas in forebrain, the cerebellum and different lobes is there, and this is the midbrain. Let's discuss about the forebrain. It is the most complex, or you can say the specialized part of the brain, and it consists of the cerebrum. If asked that write down the largest part of the brain, then it is called the cerebrum. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain. Now let's see the function of forebrain. The main function of the forebrain is thinking part of a brain, and it is also control the voluntary action. Voluntary action means the action which is not the action which is control in our self, means the control it is done by the muscle, so we can control it, so that comes under to the voluntary action. It is the store the information, means it is possess the memory cell who store the information. Then the receiving a sensory impulse from the various part of the body and integrate it, and the center associated with the hunger. In this forebrain, you also write down the different lobe as well. The four different lobe is there: parietal lobe, frontal lobe, occipital lobe, and visual lobe. In visual lobe, which is related to the eyes; occipital lobe, which is related to the muscle. Sorry, frontal lobe is which is for the muscle, occipital for the visual, ordinary nerve it is for the audio, temporal which is for the audio, and the parietal which is for the touch, temperature and the sensory related. So this four lobe is also present in the forebrain. Now let's talk about the midbrain. Midbrain, it is the middle portion of the brain who connect the forebrain and hindbrain. The main function of the midbrain is to control the involuntary action. Involuntary action which is not under us. We cannot volunteer it. So that is comes under to a involuntary action. Involuntary action such as change in pupil size, reflex movement of a head, neck and the trunk. So that is comes under to the midbrain. Now let's talk about the hindbrain. The hindbrain, it has three parts as I told you, and as I described in the figure as well. It is divided into three parts: cerebellum, medulla oblongata and the pons. Cerebellum, the function of the cerebellum, it is to control the posture and gesture of the body, means we can say that it is help to balance our body. the precision of voluntary action, for example, the picking of the pen and all. The second one, that is of medulla oblongata. The function of the medulla oblongata is to control the involuntary action. For example, it is regulate the blood pressure, salivation, vomiting, etc. The third portion of the hindbrain, it's a pons and involuntary action. Pons regulate the involuntary action and also regulate of a respiration. As I told you that the protection of the brain, so the brain is protected by the fluid filled a balloon which is act as a shock absorber, and it is enclosed in cranium, and it is also known as a skull or brain box. So this liquid or fluid is present in the meaning, means the gap of the two membranes of the skull. So the protection of brain is protected by the fluid, a filled balloon which is act as a shock absorber and is enclosed in a cranium. Like you can also say that the skull or brain box. So this is the human brain. If asked in 4 marks, then you have to describe in detail. Let's see the next question. 37 number question. How can solar energy be harnessed? Mention any two limitation in using solar energy and how are these limitation is overcome. So here we have to write down how can we earn the solar energy, what kind of limitation of the solar energy, and also we have to write down how can we minimize the problems which is related to solar energy, or you can say that how can we overcome the limitation. So that things we have to write down in this question. Let's see the answer. The solar energy can be harnessed by the trapping of sunlight in large scale with the use of solar plates and the solar photovoltaic cell. Here you can also draw the figure how can we harness the solar energy, in that the silicon plate and it is attached with the battery, and by this battery the solar energy is converted into the chemical energy, and then the chemical energy is converted into the light energy. The photovoltaic cell, which is a sensitive to the towards the light, so whenever the lights fall on a photovoltaic cell, it will be charged and it store the energy, and whenever the requirement is there at that time, we can use as a light energy or other energy too. Now the next question of this next question of this 37 number question is how write down the two limitation of the solar energy. So here we have to write down the disadvantage, or you can say the limitation of the solar energy. The first limitation is the process behind the producing a solar energy is quite costly, because the silicon, for the hence the solar energy silicon is required, and silicon is very costly, and the photovoltaic cell is also very costly, in that the silicon is used. So the process behind the producing a solar energy is quite costly. The second limitation of the solar energy is a large open field or a large amount of land is needed for the harnessing a solar energy, where the optimum sunlight may be a trap for a solar energy product. The second limitation is for the harnessing a more amount of energy require a large open field and the large amount of the land. So we can get the optimum sunlight. And the other limitation is the output as compared to the input, or you can say as compared to the economical things is very less. So this is the limitation of the solar energy. Now the third question is that how can you overcome this limitation? So we need to find out some alternative which is work on the solar energy only. We have to find out some alternative of the silicon which is cheap enough so that everyone can be use the solar energy. And in this figure, you have to draw this figure. How can we harness the solar energy? So here you can see this is the silicon plate, or you can say the solar panel. So the sun ray which is fall on the solar panel, then the solar panel is connected with the DC link, and this DC link is pass the solar energy to the inverter. In that the DC and AC both are there, means the direct current or alternative current. Here the three-phase line filter and the transformer is attached, and then the circuit breaker and the utility grade AC power, means the alternative current power we can get. Here the control room is there, control board, communication port, and here the fiber optic is there. So by which we can earn the energy. So this figure also we have to draw if asked in 4 marks. Let's see the next question. 38 number question. Suggest any 5 activity in daily life which are eco-friendly. Here we can also write down the 5 Rs: reduce, reuse, refuse, repurpose, recycle. That 5 Rs we can write down, but we have to write down in stepwise, not randomly. Let's see answer in detail. Let's see answer. The first one, that planting tree. The second activity which we can be done, that is refusing to buying things which is made up by plastic. As I told you, by the following of 5 Rs, we can minimize the pollution and it become a eco-friendly too. Third one, that riding a bicycle instead of car or bike, or if it is needed, then use the public transportation. The fourth one, that throwing a waste in dustbin. Try to use uh, cloth bag instead of plastic bag. Try to reuse the things which is non biodegradable. Switch off the light and the fan if it is not needed. Segregate the waste, the wet and the recycle one. So these are the some of the activities that you can perform and which is a eco-friendly too, and which helps to save the environment. Now let's see the last question. Explain the sex determination in human. Let's see the answer. In this, you have to draw the uh, chart XX and XY, and the next generation, that 50-50% chance of male and female, that you have to draw in this question. Let's see answer in detail. So in human beings, there are total 23 pairs of chromosome. So out of these 22 pairs, that is same almost, so that's why it is known as the autosome, and which is not responsible for the deciding of sex, or which is not used for the sex determination, so it is known as the autosome. And the last two pair of the chromosome that helps in a deciding a gender, as I told you, that the autosome who is not helping to deciding gender, but the one pair is there which helps in deciding the gender of that individual, is called the sex chromosome. So this in female, this pair means the sex chromosome. In female, the XX is there, and in male, XY is there. Here you can see in the figure. Here the XX, so this XY. These eggs and these eggs both are fertilize with each other and form the zygote, and then it is formed the female. Here the XY, so XY is become, so it become a male. So here the 50-50 chance to becoming a female and the male. This shows that the half of the children will be boys and the half will be girls. So the all children will inherit an X chromosome from their mother regardless whether they are boys or girls. Thus we can say that the sex of children will be determined by what they inherited from their father and not from their mother. So here your solution part is done. I hope you all are understand this all the questions and also revise this question. Thank you.